SAP Administrator Frank Clark is under stress. In addition to his specific responsibilities, he often has requests for data and reports from the SAP system. The auditor, for example, asked Mr. Rogers from the tax department for data for the years of 2012 to 2017 for the different company codes in accordance with the data requirement model, in short, BEA, which has been uniformly standardized throughout Germany. Mr. Miller from the accounts department has to provide the external auditor with data from financial accounting and material management for the 2018 fiscal year as soon as possible. And Mrs. Mayer from the internal audit department needs information for a purchasing audit, all orders for the Eastern Europe region from the last 2 years that fall below the release limits. Mr. Clark has to spend a long time on each individual data request. If the correct data is not presented immediately, he must process a request several times. This means that Mr. Rogers, Mr. Miller, and Mrs. Mayer will all have to wait longer. How can Mr. Clark optimize this process? With SmartExporter, a secure and easy-to-use extraction tool, the individual departments can run data requests by themselves. Mr. Rogers selects the favorite BEA in SmartExporter and sets the filter criteria. He then downloads the data and passes it on to the auditor. Now Mr. Miller too can independently procure the data requested by the auditor by selecting from the predefined favorites in SmartExporter and adding missing data himself. This is also how Mrs. Mayer from the auditing department proceeds. She selects the favorite purchasing check in SmartExporter, enters the selection criteria, and downloads the data to her PC. Super! Now the specialist departments can obtain the required data themselves, and waiting times are significantly reduced. Mr. Clark retains control of the data and access rights. He can encrypt and anonymize the data far beyond even the requirements of the GDPR. And best of all, he has more time for his core work again. In this way, the entire company saves time and money by working more efficiently. SmartExporter, the flexible way of providing data and reports from SAP. Simple, secure, and fast.